What's going on, everyone? So we're going to be talking about some stuff that's important here, and I'm pretty sure you guys can see it already. Is that Wuthering Waves at this moment has less views on Twitch than Genshin Impact. It didn't even come out with its new 4.7 or whatever update yet. This is not good. It's only been a few weeks, not even 3, and it's already at a lower viewer count on Twitch. And people had all that hype going on around it. This is not necessarily, to me, bad news because I like to live in reality. I didn't look at it as a Genshin killer. I looked at it as to be a solid game that could put itself in a solid position in the gacha realm. Because this just reminds me of like the World of Warcraft days where you had people that were at the top in their genre, and this is the next WoW killer. This is the next WoW killer. You know what I mean? And it just seems to be like this, like consistent thing that these people like to hype up and create this fantasy because it's something new around the corner and has like this look to them from a distance, right? And then like it launches and they get all into like these beginning feelings, but it's not something that's going to last in the long term. And this is a very immature standpoint that's very common in Western society that I think is very trendy and gets out of control. Because the way I look at things is like, if I'm gonna like fully say how I feel about a game for the long term, and I did do an early review, and I got some things that are definitely changing now. I want to see how it plays in the long term because Genshin is still obviously around after years and years of, being updated and succeeding, and not too many people matching it competitively. And also the difference is that they're like in that Blizzard position where it's like, I have Genshin Impact, I have Honkai Star Rail, and I have ZZZ around the corner. This is the only game that Kuro Games launched. So I believe that that's what people need to understand also too from a certain standpoint. That if Kuro was going to make their mark, the window was the first couple weeks and the next two, period. After that, it's going to be way even harder. Because you have ZZZ around the corner and you're just going to have so many more games consistently coming out. I'm looking forward to Blue Protocol too. So I kind of feel like they're kind of they may be in a Tower Fantasy situation where you at least want to stabilize and keep going to survive. Maybe they'll be in a bit better position than them, but I don't see them being a threat to MiHoYo. I never did, honestly, and that's not what I was looking for. I didn't live in that fantasy world. I was looking for a game to actually be a gacha game that I actually liked, that did not annoy me with systems. And there's some systems in this game that really annoy me. On top of, like, I don't think that they knocked it out of the park. I think they dropped the ball a couple of times. And I'm going to be honest about that. You know what I mean? Even though I didn't sit there and play Genshin Impact like crazy at all, like, period. And I'm not really a fan of the gacha genre, but I love JRPGs and I love RPGs that are online in general. I've been gaming since 1994. So I was 4. I've beaten thousands of games. I played MMO games for 24 years. You know what I mean? This is no different than launching an MMO. The difference is that you've made it in a single player instance and optional to play online. But the systems are still math. They're still RPG systems. They're still elements. And now you put microtransaction and gambling systems on top of that. You know what I mean? I hate it because I feel like I should not be limited with a paywall to play at the highest peak in gaming. This is why I don't like gacha games. And I give them a try because I want to see how I feel about it. But I feel like after every one I go through, I ended up running into the same issue that I've always ran into, is that you gate me behind a paywall to reach maximum meta. And I want to try to find a way to like love them, but I just fully can't. And my problem with Wuthering Waves is I don't like its ecosystem, like big time. And I feel like they did the right thing by giving people all that stuff at the beginning, because if they wouldn't have done that, it would have been even worse. So there's definitely some issues with this game, and I don't want to live in a fantasy like there isn't. And actually, the results right here are already showing you down to 8K viewers that there is definitely some issues. They even moved up a banner a week early, and they're still lower than Genshin Impact. So we see the cold hard facts right here in front of our face. So let's not live in a fantasy here. And for the people running around saying it was going to be better, like, I just think that when you compare something, it's good to compare something aligned. And this game even has like 7 years of technology ahead and all the right time periods to make sure they do everything right at the start, and they just did not in a lot of ways. And they're learning, you know what I mean? So um, my thing is to them is definitely make that ecosystem better. They do have to be more generous. They don't have a choice, and that this is not a Genshin killer. People need to get out of a fantasy world and realize that what you should have wanted from this game is for this game to be the best that it could be, and stop trying to compare it to a game it shouldn't be really being compared to. I guess that's what people like to do. You know, like I said, this was a very popular thing. And for people who are MMO players, you guys knew about this in the World of Warcraft glory days. Every game kept on trying to come out and imitate and be like WoW and say it was going to beat it. If you're imitating something, how are you going to beat it? Need to be more creative in a competitive sense, and have some things that are very amazing that people just can't put down and have your own formula. If you're trying to imitate something, how can you pass up that originally? You really can't. So originality exceeds imitation. There's nothing wrong with taking systems and making them better. I don't have a problem with that. But there's just some things about this game where they just did not hit all the right spots. And if they're not going to be criticized or challenged professionally with constructive criticism, then how are they going to improve? You really have some people that really think there's nothing wrong with this game, and it's not a perfect game. It has a lot of things that need to be improved. If it was, then it's just like opening up a casino where people would keep on coming in every day. You turn around and look outside, damn, man, that's a long ass line, man. It keeps growing and growing and growing. Like, you know, you've seen that with certain games. Genshin had that going for it. You know what I mean? World of Warcraft had that going for it, where it was just max peak, man. It was just even hard to log in. So that's when you know you're doing all the right things. And you don't want to lose people, so you have to do what it takes to make the game better. And I believe they are doing the best that they could, but I think a lot of people had a lot of unrealistic expectations for this game. I did not. I enjoyed it for what it was. I liked the foundation of the game. I liked the adventure. Like I said, I love the engines and the physics. It's absolutely amazing. It did have some optimization and bug issues, but like I said, that type of stuff is temporary. That's not why this game is in the position that it's in. Now, speaking from a mobile standpoint, I think that that's another big mistake that they made, because they should have had it more optimized and ready, and that's a huge base. So obviously, we see that they weren't happy either. So that's why I said, like, the best opportunity for this game was its first month. After that, it's going to be a lot harder to gain even more traction. Definitely when you got Miho dropping their Honkai 2.3, Genshin has its 4.7, and they got ZZZ around the corner. They're not really threatened. But you had a lot of people thinking that, and that's why I said that that's their own subjective illusion and fantasy that they wanted to project, because something was around the corner that they wanted to hype up and to get better. And maybe they need to realign their fantasies next time with reality and realize that that's not necessarily the case, and that you should have looked at this game independently and wanted things from it the way you wanted it to, because that's not lining up with reality right now. And I think a lot of people are realizing that. You even got some people who said they're off playing other games. Why already? You know what I mean? Even like last week. And they saw that their numbers were dropping low. That's why they moved up that banner a week early. So this is just me being honest about, you know, like the reality here. And I'm maxed out pretty much on almost 2 teams here, and trying to work on Yinlin at the moment. I'm very annoyed with that, but that's just, you know, what happens. But yeah, I just think it's time for people to really be more honest about their misprojected fantasies from the beginning, and all this stuff they were saying, and how when we look over at Genshin, why is it ahead in viewers right now on Twitch? And they don't even have his new update out. So remember, they got 3 games. ZZZ's around the corner. Honkai's about to get a new update. So, yeah, guys, I have to say you were wrong on that. You know what I mean? And that's not why I came in this game, because I have enough master experience to know this from playing games for a very long time. This is nothing new, definitely in Western society, where people do this type of nonsense over and over and over again. And again, this over-positive, blinding, projecting phase and hype phase. And they start throwing things on something else because they feel like they're leaving it behind, and this is about to take them, and they realize you're coming back down on that. And that's what happened. Let's be honest here, guys. But I am going to stick with this game, and I'm going to, like I said, keep playing it. I like the game, and there's a lot they have to fix, and let's see what happens in the next few weeks. But let's not think this is going to be some killer towards Miho. No, what I would like to see is for them to make this game a lot better. from a system standpoint. There's a lot of things, like I said, that needs to get in this game to really take it off, to where they can at least like stabilize what they have and maybe get some small growths going here and forth. But obviously, it's not blowing up like people thought it was. So that's my take on that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this, and if you have anything, comment and let me know. Glad to cover this type of stuff, and I'll be doing more. All right, you guys have a good day. Peace out.